The blood of redemption. The dimly lit church pulsed with the sound of distant battle. Echoes of clashing steel and desperate cries seeped through the cracked stone walls. Inside, a lone Templar knelt before a weathered statue of a veiled woman, the only light spilling down from a cracked stained-glass window, illuminating the figure's serene visage. His head bowed low, lips murmuring prayers. The Templar's trembling hand held a dagger over a shallow basin carved into the stone floor. Blood dripped from his palm into the basin, pooling into intricate grooves that formed an ancient seal. He clenched his jaw against the pane, whispering, "O Divine One, grant us your strength, your light, before it is too late." A loud bang shattered the fragile peace, followed by frantic pounding at the door. "My lord," a voice called, muffled but desperate. "They're breaking through!" "How much longer?" The Templar stood, blood dripping onto the floor. "First of all," he said, voice low but steady, "it's my lord. And second, I need more time, or more blood." The heavy oak doors shook violently as another crash reverberated through the church. Dust fell from the rafters. The squire's muffled voice rose in panic. "They're almost here!" The Templar gripped the hilt of his dagger tighter. His gaze returned to the statue. "It must be finished," he said, as though willing the blood to flow faster. Another crash, and this time the door splintered open. A gust of unnatural wind swept through the church, extinguishing the flickering candles. A swarm of black bats surged through the gaping entrance, their wings filling the space with a deafening, chaotic flurry. The Templar froze as the swarm coalesced before him, twisting and writhing, taking shape. When the bats settled, a woman stood in their place, her beauty sharp and menacing, her eyes like embers glowing in a pale, flawless face. She wore a gown that seemed stitched from shadows and flowing mist, and her lips curled into a cruel smile. "Lilith," the Templar whispered, gripping his dagger defensively. "You call on a god who has abandoned you," she said, her voice a velvet blade. "You spill your blood for a light that will never come. Look outside. Do you see salvation? Or slaughter?" Her voice dripped with scorn as she circled him, her steps silent on the stone floor. "You humans cling to your faith like insects crawling toward a flame, and in the end it will only consume you. This," she gestured to the seal, her smile widening, "this is your answer? Bleeding yourself dry for nothing?" As her words seeped into the air, the last drop of the Templar's blood slid into the grooves of the seal. The room trembled, and the carved lines ignited with radiant gold light. Lilith paused, her smile faltering for the first time. The Templar raised his head, his voice steady as he murmured the ancient incantation. The words echoed through the church, reverberating against the stone walls. Above them, the stained glass cracked further, shattering into brilliant shards as a blinding light poured through. The air filled with the sound of 1,000 beating wings, and from the heavens descended a figure cloaked in radiant armor, its hood shrouding a face no mortal could bear to see. Golden chains wreathed its arms, crackling with divine energy, and its presence alone seemed to push back the shadows clinging to Lilith. The celestial light flickered and dimmed as the Archangel crumbled to its knees. Lilith stood over it, victorious, her ember-like eyes glowing brighter. "Tell your master," she whispered into the fading light, "that I will find him." The Archangel's form disintegrated into ash, its divine essence scattering into the air. Lilith turned to the Templar, her cruel smile returning. "Time to move to the next church," she said, her voice dripping with malice, before vanishing into the shadows. The Templar collapsed to the floor, the shattered remains of his faith echoing in the silence.